Welcome, everyone. It's been a long time. Apologies for that. I was outside the country for nearly about 3 weeks. I'd gone down to India. Um, and I just recently got back. I went to India because I was hoping to catch up with a couple of friends, but more importantly, also do some podcasts. But a lot of things happened. Unfortunately, I couldn't do anything. Um, More importantly, I'm back with Vinny. Welcome,
Hello,
Vinny.
Martin. Good to have you back.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Obviously, we're going to talk about cricket again. The amazing win of the Indian team, which is something both me and you never predicted. And I thought, look, this is a moment we have to capture, and I also wanted to get your thoughts on it because, obviously, as I've said um, in our previous episodes, that I look up to you when it comes to cricket, and I absolutely believe whatever you're my man, the guy that I reach out to when it comes to cricket. To everyone that is new to our podcast, please subscribe, and obviously, and to those of you that are coming back, welcome back. All right, Vinny. I guess let's start off. Let's start this off. Your thoughts. What do you think of this World Cup, the Women's World Cup?
Martin, first of all,
Yep.
glad to have you back. Glad to be on this podcast.
Thank you.
And as a neutral supporter, as you can see, wanted to just put my thoughts. But no, look, there's a lot to unpack here. In some ways, as you and I sort of spoke offline prior to recording this as well,
Yeah.
it's probably a good thing that the urge was to record it yesterday, which is right on the back of
Yep.
minutes or hours, if you like, after India won the World Cup. The
Yep.
India women's team won the ODI World Cup,
Yep.
World Champions 2025. But in some ways, we held ourselves back because it sort of gave us some time to sort of process our thoughts. Purely for the reason, and Milan, there's a lot to unpack here.
Oh yeah.
Dare I say, the final scorecard result is probably, and this is not downplaying it, is probably the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of stuff that this has sort of been built upon that we have to unpack here. And
let's just start it off. Like, okay, I remember having this conversation with you. Do you remember? I think, and we said, and I asked you, who do you think is going to win? And he said, without even flinching, he said, it's going to be Australia. Australia is 7 times winners. And then obviously England has won it 4 times, and so these were the 2 countries that kept it, right? They basically kept this cup. So now that the whole thing has come to an end, and the most unlikely winner has won this, where we didn't expect it, and honestly, to be brutally honest, we didn't even expect them to win, simply because they weren't playing great.
Absolutely, and that's a key point you make, Martin. As much as we say, you and I, we didn't expect India to win, that's not to say, we had written them off. We just said if we had to put money, Australia are the most obvious, for a good reason, right? And 2, for the important point that you make there, the most obvious thing, the form not leading into the form displayed during the tournament did not look great. They
lost against Australia. They lost against England, didn't they?
Let's unpack that. So they lost 3 on the trot.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
If you dissect that a little further, if you double-click that a little more, the 3 teams that we lost to, when I say we, I'm talking about the Indian women team, I've included myself as part of that team, were the eventual teams that actually made it to the semi-finals.
Indeed, yes.
So, to say that it's against all odds is probably just putting it's a cliche, right? The Indian women's team lost to England. I'll start off. They lost to South Africa. Then they lost to Australia, which no surprises. Then they lost to
England.
And guess who were the 3 teams that made it there? So it wasn't looking great. Right?
And we got there by luck. Let's be honest.
Well, look,
a little bit of luck.
Yes, there was. And look, eventually in a tournament like this, Martin, any sports, in a World Cup, you could play the best team, but you also need a bit of luck,
Mm.
right? You need a little bit of the heavens to open up to you. All these
No,
cliches,
certainly
fortune
Certainly
favors the
did.
brave. There's things in here that and look, we won't go into the match because this isn't a match report,
Yeah.
but there were decisions on this. You go, oh my god, this could have easily backfired, right? And that's what, when you're on the winning side, those moves can be described as master strokes. But if you've got the odds stacked against you and the result doesn't go in your favor, you could be taken to the cleaners, right?
Yeah.
So yes, to your point, there were so many at that point. India did not look like they were certain to even make it to the semi-finals. All these games that were washed out in Colombo, because as you remember, these games were happening in India and
in
Colombo,
Colombo,
in Sri Lanka, sorry. There was a series of washouts that actually, and in fact, one of India's league games as well against Bangladesh towards the end was a washout as well. So yeah, that worked its favor, and India did make it to the semi-finals. Now, having said that, you still got to play, and these are big teams, right? All right, so let's unpack. Do we want to do a bit of? Let's look at the two crucial games, right? India made it.
Are we talking the semi-finals here now?
Let's go, right? I think those. If we were to remember this tournament in isolation, 10 years from now, hell, even 10 days from now, there's going to be two matches that stand out without that, right? And I am sort of speaking for you here. Apologies.
Yeah, that's
I think it's the semi-final. And the final. So let's unpack the semi-final.
And we're talking semi-final. That is India-Australia.
India-Australia.
Yeah.
Actually, let's go. We, as much as this is going to sound like it's unabashedly India, we spare a thought for South Africa.
Oh yeah,
they
absolutely.
Tremendously well.
Look.
Let's with your permission.
They've been the bridesmaid 3 times in a row now.
Oh,
it is pain. It's really painful now.
It is, but and they'll take a time. It will take some time for them to realize it, but their moment is coming. I think the Indian women were gracious in the way they were on the podium as well. They just said South Africa did play well. It's just that it wasn't on the night. It was India's night. Simple as that.
It was.
And let's look at South Africa's tournament. In the tournament opener, they were bowled out for 69, right? And then they were bowled out for 76. So 2 double-digit scores against England and Australia.
Yep.
Right?
Alana King, what did a 7?
Oh, she was just she was on King spell, right? For them to then come and absolutely decimate England in the semi-finals, right? Absolutely. Again, leading into that semi-final, if you asked any punter, any safe punter, right? Everyone would have put money on England, purely for the fact that, again, this is unbiased sort of thing. It's just, this is not to say South Africa weren't worthy opponents. It's just saying England they were previous World Cup winners. So you always favor the team that has got an experience in winning. Right?
Yes.
The winning mentality, as they say. South Africa, clinical performance. Laura Wobart, oh my God. Like that.
She is a talent of the generation, I reckon. She's phenomenal.
And she's not done. There is so much. It's almost scary.
It's absolutely scary. I mean, like, watching her is like, God almighty, she is, there's poetry in motion, and she's that. She's that.
She was, and the reality was, as long as she was at the crease, you absolutely.
You were cooked.
You were cooked, absolutely. And I think Harmanpreet, to her credit as well, in the post-match said, while she was there, they needed to pull a rabbit out of the hat.
Oh yeah.
And we'll get to that in a bit as well.
Yeah.
All right. So South Africa, that is sort of South Africa's arc. They showed a tremendous character to get to the semi-final and blow away the opposition.
Yeah.
They were primed.
They came good at the right time.
Absolutely. That's a great tool. Like in a tournament like this, you need to peak at the right time.
Oh, you need to peak at the right time. And I tell you what, this tournament and how India did it, it actually gives me vibes of when India, remember the men's tournament where India was unbeaten for a long time till Australia came and blew us out of the water?
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
what I cannot get the same
You
vibe.
don't even have to go that far, Martin. In this tournament, Australia,
Yeah.
they were unbeaten up until the semi-final. Again, a semi-finalist that they have blown out of the water.
Absolutely.
Right? So South Africa, Australia coming into that. I mean, even during the semi-final, you just thought, yeah, Australia's got this. Even after they scored even after the first innings.
Well, we'll get to that. Let's go. Let's kind of circle back to South Africa.
So South Africa, deserved finalists, right? By worthy of the performance. Yes, a couple of people stood up, but it was a team effort. They just looked prime. They were hungry again, and as you pointed out, 2 back-to-back heartbreaks in finalists where they were on the they came up short, unfortunately, and that's harsh. So they've got that fire within them. They won this victory.
Yeah, I feel sad for Marianne Cap.
Absolutely. Oh, Marianne Cap was just outstanding. There's a lot of people in there, right? And this is what tournaments like this do, right? It is a test of character as much as it's a test of skill. Dare I say, it's probably more. It's weighted maybe 61-39 when it comes to character versus skill, or probably more, because you could have all the skill in the world, but it's a Mexican standoff in these games, right?
It is,
the person that holds, the team that holds their nerve, eventually ends up winning, right?
But anyway,
so South Africa, that is South Africa. So we sort of summed it up very shortly, but they started off with in what looked like dire straits, and then they came up good. So again, peaking at the right time.
And the fact that Laura actually against the game versus England, I think she scored 167.
Yeah, absolutely. So
167
back-to-back hundreds in the semi-final and final.
And you would she's so unassuming, right? I mean, you look at her, you just think, God Almighty, she's so unassuming. But then she is something else.
Absolutely, again, clinical wins, not fortunate wins. They were clear in their plans. They were clear in the execution.
So
they delivered.
So coming to Australia, India semi-final. Let's take it from the toss.
Right.
Okay, let's take it from the toss. Man.
Oh, before the toss, right? Australia playing tremendously, dominating, crushing opposition up until here. Now, 2 games before, Alyssa Healy had scored again back-to-back centuries, the captain of the women's team. She has a bit of an injury, unfortunately, a bit of a crook back. She has been battling, so she's been away for the last couple of games. Again, without her, without their star keeper, without their star captain, they're still winning. They're still winning convincingly. All right, come to the semi-finals. Guess what? Alyssa Healy's back. She's back to full fitness.
Yes.
Right? So the Australian team is back to their sort of winning. Well, you would assume they're back to their winning ways. They've got the captain back, and there's nothing more re-encouraging. In some ways, you could almost argue Alyssa Healy coming back sort of broke the momentum, if you like. But again, a worthy person to come back in the team. She's got form. She's got one of the most experienced campaigners out there. She comes in. India going in have a bit of a setback, right? So up until then, the opener, Pritika Rawal, was the sketch, and a very good player. She has a freak injury leading into the quarterfinals.
I was watching it. Was just
just watching. You're right.
Watching
the
visuals,
it was just even now turns my stomach. Right? It was a sickening way. So what happens? Before we go into that topic, Martin, I know I briefly mentioned this. I was trying to look at a good way to describe this Indian campaign and this Indian victory. And I think as I sort of spent the last 24 hours sort of running scenarios in my head, there was one word that came up to me, and I sort of mentioned it to you: redemption. This tournament, this campaign, if you like, has so many redemption arcs, and I'll get to that in a second. Sure. It is just brilliant. Like, now that I go of it, everybody loves an underdog, but in this team, and the team that eventually played the final, the support staff included, there are so many redemption arcs that almost gets lost in just the results. And let's unpack it. So first, straight off the bat, Pritika Raval gets injured. What do? They call upon Shafali Verma. Now, Shafali Verma, 21 years of age, right? A kid. At 21, my claim to fame is probably just finishing an entire Cole's chicken in one sitting. But this is a girl that was touted as, a few years back, she was the future of Indian cricket. She was a trailblazing opener, played big strokes. But then, as they say, the higher you rise, the
what is it called? The
harder the fall.
The harder the fall, yes, correct.
Right? And she fell out of form. Not only is she she doesn't make the cut, she doesn't even make the squad. So this girl is crestfallen. Crestfallen, fair enough. She's not even part of the scheme of things. She's not even in the squad. She's not even in the consideration. What does this team then do? They call upon her. So there's no one within the squad. They actually take a left field decision.
This thing is where it borders on either genius or stupidity, and they say that it's a very thin line.
Oh, absolutely.
If it had gone south,
right? And that's my point. It could have easily gone. But not only are they calling upon Shafali Verma, they're calling her upon the most important game of her life. Now, this girl has been out of the reckoning, out of ODI reckoning for a good 14 months. She hasn't been.
Right? I think where was she playing? She was
playing state cricket, right? And in her defense, she's actually captaining her state side as well. Right. So she has been making strides there. But this is a format that she hasn't been practicing that well, right? She's playing Ranji cricket and she's playing T20. ODI is not something that she hasn't been part of the national squad. Simple, right? They actually call upon her to play the most important game in not only her life, in India's campaign for India to remain in the tournament. Once we get to semi-final, it's knockout, right?
It is.
So there's redemption number one. She comes in, they call her, and look, credit where credit's due. This is, from what I can see, the captain, the vice captain, Smriti Mandhana, Harmanpreet, they were big supporters of Shafali Verma when she was playing. And look, when you start playing with this, when you see someone young, you can see you see yourself, a bit of yourself in them, you impart wisdom. So she had full backing of this, and credit to the coach as well. The team management, selectors did obviously believe, but look, credit where credit's due, they drafted her in with almost little to no notice, if you like. Yeah,
well, no notice, no preps, nothing. Just come and
at no point
pad up.
Just go, you're on the field. But again, this is where I talk about redemption. At the press conference, pre-match press conference rather, the question was obviously posed to her. Are you nervous? You've been drafted into the squad. Oh, and this is for a 21-year-old. This is on record, and I may be paraphrasing here. She just said, I feel like I'm here to do something special. And she did use, she said, she said, God has a plan for me. And look, that's fine, that's perfect. But she believed in herself. And I think that was the thing that stood out. It's easy for us to say now, hindsight is 2020. But at that point, you could almost argue if that had not gone to plan, you could say that's overconfidence. But she believed in herself. And look, so that's redemption's arc number one.
Number two, is it?
No, number one. This is Shafali Verma. So she comes in, and let's be honest, she didn't have a great first outing. It wasn't a great. But again, credit, the captain stuck by it. Let's come back to redemption number two. Australia scored 300 plus, 330.
338.
338, there you go. First innings. Now, you could almost argue they fell a bit short, right? But again,
let me put an end there. Right? Anything above 300 is hard work. Psychologically, it's hard work.
Absolutely, it is hard work, but it also depends on the opposition. Now, anything above 300 with Australia defending anything above 300, you would say 9.5 times out of 10, you would back Australia.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
they've got the resources. They've been there,
Well,
they've done that.
forget the resources. They've got the resources. They've got the skill, and they've got the experience.
Exactly. They've
No?
got the winning mentality.
They
They've
got
been
the winning
winning.
mentality,
Yeah.
and you should never say die. We
No.
live here, man.
Winning is a habit.
Winning is a habit. So I mean, the mere fact that 300, I thought 330. Yes, they clawed them back a bit, but for 338, I mean that's a huge, massive total.
Again, for India coming into this with
I didn't think we were going to make it. I'll be honest with you. I watched it.
Yeah.
I just thought, oh, they're not going to hit. There's not a chance.
Which is great. Which comes to redemption arc number 2.
Yeah.
Who stands up on the night?
Jamie Rodriguez.
Before that, just before that, right? Smriti Mandhana has a decent. She plays a half decent nog. Jemima Rodriguez, right? Now she's pretty active on social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's always creating reels. She's probably one of those characters. She's a pocket rocket, right? She's always smiling. Anyone and everyone that's played with her or against her have always described her as this most cheerful person, right? A lovely person. And you can see it, her demeanor. Every time she speaks.
The body language is good.
Body language it's always positive, right? It's what, some effervescent people, the personalities, bubbly personality, she's definitely one of them. Now, this girl, again, I talk about redemption arc number 2. She started off the tournament really well, but then went through a series of form deserted her, right? And it wasn't looking great. And she very admirably spoke during the post-conference of all the insecurities. And I think, Martin, that's something that stood out for me more than the innings.
I 300% agree. That was so raw and so honest. I mean, we sometimes forget that sportsmen and women are human.
Absolutely.
And we are, like me and you, we go through moments of severe self-doubt. Severe, and especially when you think this is your journey, and then life throws you curveballs, and all of a sudden you run into this self-doubt moment, and it is a rabbit hole. It is a serious rabbit hole.
Absolutely.
All right. And the fact that she actually went to that place and said the anxiety and what it took her, look, I think, you know what? God bless her.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing, right? You're spot on. We forget that they are human after all. You could have the best resource in the world, but there are times when you start questioning yourself, and that is a bit of a dark place, right? I can safely say we've all been there. We all have, and the most successful people are the ones that claw themselves out of it, right?
Yep.
This girl had she's been dropped previously. So again, a young girl. She's got a bright future ahead of her. There's this video that came out, I don't know if you noticed, of Nasser Hussain.
Yes.
When she was
playing, she was in her school, and he met her, and I've seen it
in the nets, right? And she was 12 or 13 at that time. He had a couple of throwdowns, and he almost prophetically now said that she's going to be a superstar in the making, and she has all the makings of it, right? She's a gun fielder. She's quick between the wickets. Like, she's got the template. But again, she was dropped from the T20 World Cup when she thought she was doing well. And she's spoken about it previously as well. The heartbreak. Because let's not forget, Martin, and we will touch upon this, in a country like India, for women cricketers, for girl cricketers, there hasn't been a lot of avenues where they can flourish or for them to train. And this is why we think this victory is going to it is a watershed moment, right? It is a massive watershed moment, and we'll touch upon that a little later. I think we should just build towards that. So this girl battling self-doubt, she's doing all the hard yards, but the results aren't coming. So she's gone through heartbreak of being dropped and then getting selected again. So she wants to make this count. And this is where sometimes you touched upon luck. There is a bit of destiny. Now, I'm not one of those people that will say we'll leave it all to destiny, but sometimes when the stars align,
Yeah.
things go your way. And the difference between you and I and elite sportsmen are when the stars align, they realize it and then they go, this is my day. I am not letting this to chance. I'm not giving this away. People like Virat Kohli has spoken about that. And when he played his magnificent innings in the 2023 or 2022 World Cup against Pakistan, he said it. He came out and he just said, I just knew. I knew, again, he mentioned God, but he said, I knew God had a plan for me. I knew I was here for a reason and I knew what I had to do. So some things like that. So Jemmy's knock, she was never meant to bat at 3.
Apparently she came out of the showers and they told her, "You're next."
Yeah, in the lead up to the tournament, she has always been playing 5, and she did have great results. So yeah, she went into the shower and apparently she saw the coach and the captain sort of have a discussion. She just told me, let me know. But again, it's crazy how the fate unrolls itself. She got to, like you said, a couple of minutes before they said, "Pat up, you're next." So in some ways, it helped her because she didn't pre-think a lot of things. So
I thought the same.
She went in, and Harmanpreet, we have to. That's probably redemption arc number. I'm going to run these 2 redemption arcs in parallel. Harmanpreet again played a really, really sensible knock and a almost match-winning knock as well. She's got an 87 or something.
That's correct.
But that partnership literally broke the bat. Well, set the tone for the chase. Almost made them believe. And she played a very again, her form leading into the tournament, very, very sketchy at best. Right?
Yep.
So she had questionable form. Her captaincy has come into the spotlight for a number of reasons. And I'll be the first one to admit as well. Because as a captain, she isn't the... Well, I'm trying to think of a good way to... She's one of the more expressive people on the field. So what that comes across, and a lot of it could be a language barrier as well, but she is infamous, if you like, for calling out her teammates publicly. When I say calling out teammates after a loss, she just says, "Oh, the bowlers didn't perform, or the batsmen didn't perform." So it's almost, again, that could be a language barrier thing. It almost feels like she threw people under the bus, right? And on the field, if a catch was dropped, she would mouth off. She would get angry. She would get frustrated.
Surprisingly, she did this time.
No, she did up until the semi-final. So it was almost during those 3 back-to-back losses as well, her body language wasn't great. There was something that, at least to the external viewer, to the naked eye, it didn't look right. But it's almost like when Shafali Verma came in, she was a little calm. So I don't know if there was something else. Yeah, we'll never know. We probably will never know until she decides to release a book. Right? Anyone within the team. And look, that's the story in her defense. That's the story of every sporting team, right? You will have differences, and that's the beauty, right? They work through it. She probably wanted a team that she didn't get, and there was a frustration there. And that's not to say, but for this game, she looked calm, and that sort of, excuse me. So that partnership was good. But Jemmy was on the money. She looked determined, and when I say determined, again, not going into the scorecard of things, but just the body language. Now, she was dropped on 87 by Alyssa Healy. Now, that is not something you expect of Australia. No. You don't expect of Alyssa Healy, particularly. That was a keeper's catch. But I think that's the moment she believed as well. She just thought, this is my night. And you knew she was on the money because when she reached 100, she did not raise her bat. It's
customary.
Well, it's not even customary, Martin. And Virat Kohli, I've heard of, not just Virat, like I keep mentioning, like I'm fanboying him, but some of the best players have said when they're in the zone, they're in this bubble. They block out everything else. They don't know. It's just bat and ball. That's all they see. These champion players, they have absolute tunnel vision. Roger Federer has spoken about it. So you could have 100,000 people cheering on the top of the lungs, but guess what? They are tone deaf. They do not hear anything. all they're looking at is just the ball, these visual cues.
That's Zen. That's called a
Zen mode, right?
Yeah.
They talk about it, right? And that was this girl. And it wasn't even customary. I dare say she probably didn't even realize she was in her 100. She had got to that because all she's thinking of is, I need to win this game. I need to win this game. I need to win this game. I need to hit this ball. So the clarity of thought. Elite sportsmen have said that. And this is where people falter, right? It's the clarity of thought. It's decision making. They know what shot to play. They know what shot to execute, when, where, to the minutest sort of degree. So there was redemption arc number 2. She scores that 127. She wins the game. And look, when I say Harmanpreet gets out, right? So you've still got a couple of people. Jemmy is still there. But again,
she's now the anchor.
She's absolutely the anchor.
Yeah,
she's the glue that holds.
I mean, Harmanpreet, I mean, she came in and did a solid knock.
Absolutely.
And then so did, what was her name? The other ones that followed those.
Richa
Ghosh, yeah.
Snare.
And it was amazing to watch it. And you just think, okay, there is hope. You kind of think that there is hope.
But Martin, that's what a score of 300 does to you, right? But you think you've done so much, and then you look up, you're like, you're still at the base.
There's
of
a mountain.
Right?
This Everest is.
It's Everest, right?
This
the
Everest
further you climb, the farther the sort of the goal disappears, right? You think you're in the game, and I guess that's the belief, the self-belief. Now, a pessimist would probably look at it and go, "Oh my God!" And look, I'll be the first to admit, at that point, even as well as they were playing, I'm sitting and going, couple of wickets here, and it's all going to fall down like a house of cards.
Yeah.
Like this is.
Actually, I had the same thought. I was thinking,
right?
Please.
And look, again, as much as we'll give ourselves some credit because that's how the team played.
Correct.
They've faltered. But I guess where this team stood out this time around is, and in some ways, again, we talk about destiny, those 3 back-to-back failures actually prepped them for this moment.
Yes.
So they've tasted failure. Just going back to a few minutes ago when you referenced their men's World Cup 2020 World Cup. They won everything, and the match that they lost happened to be the final.
Yeah.
Right? And you and I always said, we don't like this feeling. We don't like this
feeling.
Because at some point, you sort of need a checkpoint, right?
Yeah, you do.
You need...
you need a couple of failures to kind of adjust the whole
And that's life, Martin. When you're winning...
continuously.
When you're on a roll, there's almost a tendency to get...
cocky.
Cocky. And sometimes you just don't address the
hubris.
Yes, hubris. Absolutely. That's
hubris
the word.
Is the word.
More than cocky. You sometimes just, all the cracks in there, you just sweep it under the rug. You just don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why would you break something that's not broken?
Well, that's a winning formula.
Would you fix something? Exactly.
That's a winning formula.
It's a winning formula, right?
Yeah.
So, Jemmy was in the zone. She played a gem of a knock again. Decided that she needed to be there till the end. She needed to see it through. Even with 50 runs to get, we had a couple of quick fire, good gem of an innings with Richa Ghosh and stuff, but it was still 50 runs to get, right? And you are playing Australia. They've got the resources. They know, like you said, they've been here before and they've done it. Okay, let's not go into this, but she plays a gem of an innings. She wins and she breaks down. So there's your redemption arc. Number 2, and for Harmanpreet as well, for all the brickbats that were thrown at her, that was redemption. She backed Shafali Verma. She got her in the team and she played a a captain's innings, if you like. All right. In the context of the game, she played a match-winning innings. Simple as that. Her and Jemmy's, they played it at a quick clip as well. They made sure that there wasn't a lot to get towards the end for the other batters. They kept up with the run rate. They made sure it wasn't astronomical. And it was only a few hits away before they could win. So redemption arc number 2 and 3 is going parallel. Now, this is a bit of a general arc. It's a redemption arc for the Indian... Oh, actually, no, let's not go there. So that's the semi-final. A crackerjack of the semi-final and innings for the ages.
Actually, that should have been the final.
That was worthy of a final.
That was worthy,
right?
I mean, but then you have to say both semi-finals are worthy.
Oh, absolutely. Look, yes. I think this was more because Australia was an Everest that India had never conquered or any team had ever conquered in a World Cup final, right?
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, like when you look at it, there were standout performances both from both sides, right? I mean, you look at it
Absolutely.
and you just say the anchoring moments for India was Jimmy Rodriguez, and for the South Africans was Laura. And
Yeah.
you just think, man, I mean, like they were just phenomenal, right? I
Right.
mean, I just looking, and the thing is, like, so for Jimmy, I mean, obviously we being Indians, for Jimmy, I mean, she's like a tiny little thing. Right?
She's a pocket rocket, but on the field, she's a gun. She's a gun fielder. She runs quick singles. She's got the game for it, right?
Yeah,
She doesn't look
but
like
the
a
thing
power.
is, she can't. All said and done, she doesn't have the. I don't know. I don't know whether she doesn't have that muscle strength to cart it 6 and 6 and 6.
But I see where you're coming from. Physically, she doesn't look like it, but she does. She plays in the BBL.
Oh,
She
yeah.
plays in T20. So, and I think that's what the new generation, well, the cricketers that are coming through, you look at someone like an Abhishek Sharma, does not look like he's built. You compare him to a Marcus Stoinis. Marcus Stoinis looks
Jesus.
jacked. Like he looks like the Hulk. He looks like
He's
just
come out of the rugby field.
oh, it's like maybe 0.5% body fat. Like, do you mean he's just lean muscle? Do you mean?
Yeah.
But these guys can hit a long ball. They practice the art of power hitting.
Yeah,
So there's a
that's true.
lot of technique in that as well. Virat again, he's got the body for it. But there are some. You look like someone like a Washington Sundar the other night. They know the art. They have practiced power hitting, and that's what T20 has done to this.
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
So Jemmy does have the game. She doesn't look for it, but she does.
Yeah, that was
as a
temperament.
bonus.
That was actually the factor that came down to also temperament.
Absolutely, temperament, and
She was determined to anchor it and see India through. And
she just said I think in her post-match conferences, she just said, "I just wanted to do it for the team," and I guess that was a great sign in itself, where they realized that they needed to stand for each other, step up, right? And I think that's why this tournament is beautiful, and I think that's usually the case with a team that wins the tournament. That at every point in time, a different person stands up. It's not the tried and tested ones. And that's the sign of a champion team. Which now sets up for the final, a mouth-watering contest. You now have South Africa and India, which automatically tells you, for the first time, we are going to have a new World Cup champion.
Yeah.
So that prospect in itself is delicious, right? Let's go one step further. The ground that they're going to play, Navi Mumbai, DY Patil Stadium, is, again, Mumbai as a ground is, the vibe, the crowd is just next level.
So it's 35,000, I think, the capacity.
It's not the crowd, Martin. It's the crowd involvement as well. Sometimes a 10,000 can generate enough noise.
Yeah.
Like the MCG is iconic venue, right? And MCG at full capacity is just next level. It's incomparable. But Mumbai as a ground is just the sporting culture. There's a lot of history associated with Bombay or Mumbai, really. So now we've got two teams, regardless of the result. It is historic and it's legacy defining.
It is.
All right. So let's take a breather here. Is there anything that you want to sort of
look, I'm just thinking about it, and I was just thinking, like, even when you look at the semi-finals, and I'll go back again to the India Australia one, the fact that they climbed that mountain, and I think I was under the impression, because a lot of
that was a big mountain to climb as well.
It was a big mountain to climb. There was a lot of emotional let through.
Yes.
And backwash. And I felt that it's very hard. Let's be honest, we're humans, right? It's very hard to keep that momentum going and say,
100%.
In 2 days' time, we now need to go and do something similar again. Because you've literally thrown everything on the field, right? Literally gone, nothing left in the tank, right? And you're like, now you've got to repeat this, and it's really, really, really.
And that's where I got turnaround as well.
It's a very short turnaround, right? So that's where I was thinking, oh man, yeah, this was great, but the finals is the one that you need to do this again. And I'm not sure they had it in them. There was enough fuel in them to pull this off at the finals, because that thrown everything, including the sink into to get this through.
The sink, the piping, the drainage that
the
comes
drainage,
with it,
the
all
whole
the
lot,
piping,
the entire thing, right? So I remember I said to you, oh God, I don't know whether they'll have it. I mean, I just looked at it from a human point of view, and I said, it is impossible to have that. It would take a superhuman effort to do this. And secondly, God, I mean, it'd be impressive, but I just didn't think they would have it.
Yeah. And look, for good reason. Again, not discrediting the team. It's, again, we treat them as humans. You just go, that's a lot of energy spent. And it's not just during the game. It's prior to the game, right? There's all, I don't care what it is. I'm sure all of these players, and Jemmy would have said as well, she would have had a sleepless night leading into the game, right? So there's a lot of prep that goes into it. You've spent everything, right?
And then you come out of it, you're in such a high. It's such a high that you have to come down. And when you come down, to climb yourself up there again, Jesus.
And there's one thing we've actually conveniently forgot as well. You're the host nation. The pressure that comes with being the host nation to win a tournament is...
And this is India too.
It's India, exactly. It's fair to say you and I can't even begin to comprehend it, right? And we'd be lying if we say we understand that. We
not
cannot.
A chance.
We will not in this lifetime experience that. We will not even understand that. So there's that. And these girls have been, again, this is where it's very easy for self-doubt to come. Now, the closest India's ever gotten to the final was in 2017. Well, not closest. They've been finalists before, but in 2017 was a heartbreak. Absolute heartbreak. And India has been on the receiving end. They've, as you've mentioned, they were bridesmaids on this tour. Harmanpreet played an incredible knock, scored a 175 in the lead up to the tournament. But in the final, they lost to eventual champions England, right? And I remember watching that game. But I remember the faces that Mithali Raj, Harmanpreet was there, Jemmy was nowhere in the picture at that time. But the heartbreak that comes with it. So the team would be going through that, saying, we can't afford another heartbreak. And I remember Wasim Akram once in an interview, and he said it ages ago, but the line still stuck. Someone asked him, what is pressure? Oh, don't you feel pressure before a game or during a game? And Wasim Akram said, pressure is not, to be honest, playing the game is probably the easy bit. He's like, pressure during the game is not what I feel. Pressure is in the lead up to the game. He's like, when you leave home, your parents and your loved ones say, don't lose today. Pressure is when you get into the car, the bus driver getting onto the bus driver saying, please don't lose today. Pressure is the doorman saying, we're counting on you, don't lose the game today. Pressure is the cook at the restaurant, when you go for a late night walk prior to the game, not just the cook, any layman on the street going, don't lose today. He's like, that is pressure. During the game, I know what I'm doing, right? But that is pressure leading into it, right? So for the Indian team to then go, you've got your face plastered on the wall, you've got ads, they cannot escape the noise. There is no escaping the noise. As much as the team tries to put them in a bubble, you will get texts, you will get this. And within yourself, you're going, we cannot afford to, for lack of a better word, cock this up. We cannot afford to lose again because we have to make this count. So you're spot on, right? Leading into they've expended everything against Australia. So not only they had to beat Australia, they had to chase a mammoth total, and they did it pretty well.
They did with balls to spare too. That was amazing.
Yeah.
But that's where I thought, okay, this should have been the finals. But anyway, we had to play South Africa, and that was a turnaround of 48 hours or 72 hours or something like that.
Yeah. So
and then we're back again. And to be honest, I didn't think we'll do it. But then that's a pessimist in me, man. Maybe that's a coping mechanism where I don't want to be disappointed. I don't have to. I've run through the whole thing and say, I told you so to myself. So I was kind of like, all right, look, I'm going to take the beating Australia as the win.
Yeah.
And I kept it to myself, and I said, that's the win.
That's going to be the highlight.
That's my highlight. I am proud of them as a sponge. And look, and when we went into the finals, and and we lost the toss, and were told to bat, and then there was a 2-hour rain delay. I thought to myself, oh God Almighty.
See, and that's spot on. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I didn't even think, and sometimes you are right. And let me just say this: sometimes it is absolutely crazy how events conspire to make something so that the game finishes 5 minutes before midnight or something close to midnight, and we end up winning. And then the famous statement of the what is
The
it?
tryst of destiny.
The
Tryst with destiny. Sorry.
tryst with destiny at the midnight hour kind of a thing, and it's like, bloody hell, that's if the gods were making fun, they really did. They went and just scripted this. I mean, like, you can say this is literally scripted. Right?
Look,
2-hour rain delay, and then the whole and to come close to midnight, and for them to be declared the winner. Right?
You could argue the midnight thing it just happened, right? Like, it's just the way the game ebbed and flowed. But let's start at the top, right? You're right. A 2-hour rain delay, right? Yes. Now, if you were a person that believed in omens, that's your first bad omen, right? You're like, oh, it's a rain, because automatically when there's a rain delay, your first thought is, I hope this isn't a rain curtail game, right? You won the full 50 overs. And if it is a rain curtail game, whenever DLS kicks in, Duckworth Lewis Stern system kicks in, it almost always favors the chasing team. One, for two reasons. One, the chasing team then knows because the team batting first don't know what the rain delay is going to look like, because they could be further. Because when there's a rain delay, let's put it this way, you don't know if there'll be further rain delays, right? You don't know if there'll be other breaks in place. So the team batting first almost doesn't know what's the right tempo to go at. Do they go all out attack? Do they then risk getting 100 all out, or do they then pace the innings and hold wickets back and then go for an almighty onslaught towards the end? Whereas the team chasing, they get to know what they're chasing, so they know what the final target looks like. They know how to pace the innings. Two, they get to see what the pitch looks like.
Yeah.
Right? When there's a rain delay, it's anyone's guess. You sort of getting, there's moisture trapped. Is the ball going to move around a little bit? Is there going to be lateral movement? Is there going to be seam movement? Or is it going to get tacky? It's all these things that you don't consider.
I know the DLS thing where you were talking about. The DLS. So here's the thing, right? The 2-hour rain delay. So basically, I was under the impression that they would shrink it from 50 to probably 30 overs. I didn't think they were going to do the whole 50.
I see where you're coming from, but in a World Cup final, the organizers, the match officials will do everything to get a full game, not a rain curtail game, unless it's dire. So they'll work the math, they'll work the clock to ensure they get a 50-over game.
Yeah.
Purely for that reason. But I guess the danger there is, what is the forecast? You can plan as much, but if there's another couple of rain delays, then they don't have a choice but to.
Once the game starts and the pony is up and running, and then the rain happens, then the DLS comes. Correct. Really great. Good. Yeah. But if you're all starting from the same point and you're aware, okay, we need to finish this game because of broadcasting issues. So, we have to shorten it to 38. Everyone knows we're playing for 38. We need to kind of work out from there, or maybe 35, whatever the number is. But go on. Sorry.
No, I was going to say that situation works that scenario works in one case. There could be another case where one team plays the full innings, then there's a rain delay, then the second team has a rain curtail. Chase.
That's the way it gets.
So I guess that's where regardless, right? So once rain comes in, you're a bit, because all your match prep, I'm sure the teams will do it, but there will be a spanner in the works, because they would have gone previous night saying, all right, this is what our plan A is going to look like. This person is going to open the bowling. This is how we're going to go, And then when it's rain delay, like, do we? I mean, obviously, you have to improvise on the go, but then there's a little doubt that comes in, going, this is not what we had planned for. How do we rejig the batting order? Do we start playing cautiously? Anyway, this is why you and I are not sportsmen. But
So yeah, go on.
so let's come back to the final. So bit of 2-hour rain delay. We still have a 50-over game. India's put into bat. Shafali Verma. This girl has come out from the cold and she's now playing a World Cup final, right? Playing for a team that has never won the final before. So to say that she's got pressure is probably
Understatement.
And
Yeah.
what does this girl do? She plays 87. Has a solid. You would think Smriti Mandhana is the
Vice captain.
vice captain and the sort of informed player.
Yeah.
It's her time to shine. She doesn't, unfortunately. Look,
I think she got off at 45, isn't she?
it wasn't. You would expect them, but they have a strong opening partnership, right? For a team batting first, Shafali Verma plays a gem of an innings, 87 out in the context of the game, and she's not done for the night.
Yeah.
Like, again, this is not the world's best kept secret. You can all check the scoreboard out or the highlights. Harmanpreet comes, chips in a little bit. Jamie doesn't have
a great night.
Unfortunately, right? But Shafali Verma, but the way she's playing, everyone's happy for her. Like even Jamie, when she came in, you could see there was laughing giggles. When this girl raised her bat for a 50, the dugout was just stoked for her. You could see she was a well-loved member of the team. Simple as that, right? Someone that everyone wants to do well. And she's 21, Martin, 21. So that
the
itself,
thing is, she doesn't look it though.
It's just, it's the one.
I mean, like, you look at her and you think she's more mature than that.
Yeah, she's been playing for a while as well. So,
I mean, I'm talking purely maturity.
Yeah, absolutely. She's got.
I mean, the head on the shoulders is phenomenal.
Martin, there's a reason why she's the captain of her team. So, and this time around, you could see in her game as well, there was a little more maturity. When I say maturity, previously, she was that swashbuckling opener where she would hit all these aerial shots. But in this, you could see a lot of her shots were along the ground. So there was a little more, I've got time on my side. I know how to pace my innings. You could see that sort of.
And you have to ask the question, maybe it was not a bad thing that she was dropped. She went back to the Ranji Trophy and where she had to learn control.
She grafted. Yeah, she played the game. Yeah. Just understand the tempo of the game.
And basically, making sure that, well, I got to anchor this.
Well, absolutely. And especially in a 50-over game, as opposed to a T20, you need to have gears. The reason why, Virat Kohli or, some of these other players were Sachin Tendulkar back in the day as well were ODI greats was because they had these gears. They knew when to accelerate, when to pull back, and then accelerate again. They just knew. And that's why they're a cut above the rest. They identified those moments, and when it was time to accelerate, they just did not hold back, right?
Yeah.
So this girl, and after she got to a 50, she opened up a little more and then expanded her strokes. Anyway, long story short, few more cameos in between. The team ends up with 299. Now, honestly, including the South African team, including the Indian team, you would say the way they were going, they fell at least 20 runs short.
Yep.
Right? The way they were motivated. And South Africa did bloody well to pull them back.
Yep.
There were these constant, they stifled the runs in between, quick wickets. And look, they again, a glowing testament to their character as well. They could have easily gone, oh my God, we've lost it. But they just hung in there, they believed, and they pulled the game back. 299. Now, again, 299 is not a bad score. You just think in situations like that, and if this was Australia, they would outbat the team. Right? That's the difference between a winning team, a team that's done it before. A team that has that winning mentality, that's part of their DNA, if you like. Yeah. They would just, if they've got their feet on the throat, they will just kill the game there. They will not leave it to chance. Yeah. They will go all out. So India would certainly not be the more downbeat of the teams. They would have just gone like, oh, this is a good score. But I'm sure within their head they've gone, ooh, we missed a trick there. We could have scored a little more.
Yeah.
And South Africa as well would have gone, we've pulled this game back. We've got a real shot here.
We got a shot here.
We've got a shot here. So again, mouth-watering prospect for a spectator.
Yes.
But again, you always have to understand it's a World Cup final. Like, the pressure of chasing is never easy. I think there's no statistical evidence, but anecdotal evidence always says in a World Cup final, chasing, you always add on another 20 runs because that's the weight of expectation. So any 290 or 299 almost feels like a 319, right? India plays her, right? Now, this is where that redemption arc comes in again. South Africa are playing brilliantly. The opening bowlers are getting taken to the cleaners, right? They are hitting.
Can I say something
Sure.
here? Can I say something here? I'm watching the game, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I can't watch this. This is just too hard. This is too hard to watch because they're taking us out.
Laura Woolward is playing another gem of an innings.
I'm like, you see her and you just, oh God, we're going to get out.
Correct. And as we said, as Jemmy was in that zone, Laura was in the bloody zone. She has been in the zone for God. She hasn't come out of the zone.
She hasn't come out of the zone. I'm not just thinking, man, if she's there, and beyond a certain, I watched and I thought, I can't watch this. So do you know what I did? Being a cricket tragic like you, but not as bad, I said, I can't watch this. So I went to the betting odds.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't condone any sort of gambling.
No, we don't condone this again. I went to the betting odds and I was watching the odds, whether going up or going down.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's how I knew who was still there. It was showing $1.25 to $3.20. And I thought, oh, okay, we still have a chance. And I could not bring myself to watch the game, so I was watching the betting odds, and it was turning by the minute. It was turning, right, and it got to a stage where it said $7.
Wow, really?
In the middle of the game, and I said, "I got to watch it now." I went to watch it, and Laura is still there, and I'm thinking to myself, "Why is the odds here?" And I'm like, "Okay." And then that's when we dropped her catch or something like that.
Yes,
Somebody dropped a catch. And I just thought, I can't watch this because this obviously means bad luck. I went and looked at the odds. The odds went back to $3.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. And that was the time, actually. Sorry. That was the time they hit someone for 17 runs. I don't know who was bowled. It was 4 wide.
It was 10 runs off the first ball.
Oh, Jesus. It was insane to watch, right? And I said, oh, yeah, here we go. And I went back to looking at the odds. Anyway, I'm sorry, I stepped in.
No.
It was just me. It's just me being unable to watch it.
And you probably represent everyone, a majority of the population. I can assure you that, because I was in that, but I didn't just go on that. I was just kept staring at the score. This is where we talk about destiny again. It's just sometimes the universe conspires in such a way where you are meant to succeed. And Shafali's prophetic words come to life. Shafali was never meant to bowl. She was never meant to bowl. And Harmanpreet said in her post-match conference as well, all she did was just look around. It's almost like she even forgot Shafali Verma was in the team. She just turned around and saw Shafali standing there. And then she just tossed the ball to her, because in her head she thought, I don't want to leave the stadium thinking, what if? And just to put things in perspective, Martin, Shafali Verma, prior to that night's final, in her entire career, now she doesn't have a massive body of work, but in her career, had only bowled 14 overs to date.
Yep.
To date, right? So she's not a regular bowler. She's never... Well, look, in her defense, she always works on her bowling, but she was never a bowler. She is always primarily a batter. She's not in the mold of a Sachin Tendulkar, where he does actually bowl, or Virendra Sehwag, he actually does bowl regularly, right? Never. And I think leading up to this tournament as well, I think she's never bowled in a World Cup game, or maybe that could be skewed. But yeah, she's only bowled 14 overs leading up to this. Harmanpreet Kaur. So you have to give credit. It was purely gut instinct. Now, this is something South Africa, for all their thing, they hadn't planned for her. They had never, well, for starters, they hadn't expected Shafali to even win. Even Shafali didn't expect to be in the game, right? Yeah. So let's give her that. But this girl apparently had, when they brought her into the team, Harmanpreet had told her, look, at some point we will need a couple of overs from you. And she just said, I'm ready to bowl 10 overs. So that was the confidence in Shafali Verma. That's something that you and I can never, there's no way to measure it, right? And this is what we talk about, the self-belief, mind over matter stuff. Of the second ball, she gets a wicket, right? So Harmanpreet is obviously, this is a masterstroke. Now, this could have easily gone south because Laura Woolworth is playing a beautiful innings. This is not your regular bowler. And I don't mean to discredit Shafali Verma's bowling. She is not a spinner in the way you think of a spinner. She does not turn the ball a mile. She does not have a dusra. She does not have a wrong one. She does not have a flipper. She is as predictable as they come, right? Just sort of bowls into the wicket and then sort of hope for the best, that sort of stuff, right? And she doesn't bowl any extra, so I'll give her credit for that. But to say this was a Hail Mary is probably, this was a Hail Mary, I don't care, whatever angle you look at it. So that's, India's got some belief. So Harmanpreet gives her one more over. Guess what she does? She picks up another wicket. This is on a night where she's already scored 87, coming from the cold, coming completely cold, right? Not even in the reckoning, not even. And I think this is the moment where the Indian team, or the Indian captain, Harmanpreet as well, this is where I have to give her credit, and this is her redemption arc as well. She went purely with gut instinct, and it paid off. To say that it paid off, South Africa hadn't prepared for her. So suddenly this came, and I think this is where a good team sort of goes to a great team in these, because in these little moments of indecision, they go, this is our moment, they get in, and then they just go start chipping away. They recognize those key moments, and then they just go for the kill. And I think from there on, it's a horrible thing to say, because I will never be a sports person and I don't know what it feels like. I think South Africa, that little moments of indecision, made a little judgment of errors that eventually, unfortunately, cost them the game. And this could have easily gone the other way around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, Shafali Verma's over could have gone for 16 or 17, and that would have
that was game over.
That was game over, right? So that's the other redemption arc in there. Look, and then it is just, you and I don't have to talk about her 2 overs. Brilliant. Which then comes to the other redemption arc, Deepti Sharma, the player of the tournament. Right? She ends up with the fifer. Now, Martin, she scored a 50 as well. She scored a 50 in the final to get them to 299. She ends up with a fifer. Now, this redemption arc, this is probably the first redemption arc that popped up in my head before I even went down this sort of theme of redemption. Now, Deepti Sharma in 2022 during the World Cup final against, guess what, South Africa, right? In a tournament decider, right? They hadn't reached it, but India winning that game was crucial to the T20 World Cup. Deepti Sharma was bowling the last over, and South Africa needed 3 of the last 2 balls. So it absolutely came down to the wire. Deepti Sharma was bowling. She bowls, the batsman hits, the batter hits it. They claim a catch, a clean catch, and the team is celebrating.
No ball.
A cruel twist of fate.
No ball.
No ball. It was a front foot no ball by the barest of margins. So she went from hero to villain.
0.
Literally. To villain, not even 0. Because a front foot no ball, you have no one to blame. And you have no one to blame, especially when you're a spinner. Like a front foot no ball for a spinner is absolutely criminal.
Yeah.
Criminal, right? With fast bowlers, you can say, you've got that run up to go. You cannot. So she has no one to blame but herself. So she's almost win. Anyway, long story short, barest of margins. They get the extra run, they get a free hit, they end up winning. So she's absolutely distraught, crestfallen, right? This is her time. She scores a 50, she takes a fiver, she takes the last wicket to win the game. So that is just redemption. And you can't script this stuff, mate. It almost like the perfect script. She takes the final wicket. She's been part of all these heartbreaks leading into this tournament, right? She's been with the team. Who takes the final catch? Harmanpreet. Harmanpreet, in all honesty, will probably never play a World Cup again. Look, she's 35 already. The next World Cup is 4 years away. That's not to say she will not, but the odds are, right?
The odds are that it will be Smriti Mandana leading the team.
Oh, yeah, and Harmanpreet not. Like, we've got, and I guess that's where we have to come down to, and I guess this is the meat of our conversation. India wins the World Cup. So there's your redemption arc there of India winning the game, right?
Yeah.
Now I need to mention one more redemption arc. Spare a thought. There is one person in here that hasn't been mentioned. The coach. The coach, Amol Muzumdar. Now he is, for anyone and everyone, and you and I are part of this vintage, he's almost a trivia question to this day. Who is the most unluckiest batsman to have never
played for India?
Right? There is one thing that not a lot of, or maybe it is a well-known fact, but it isn't a well-publicized fact. When Tendulkar and Kambli, when they were playing that school game, which propelled them to the limelight, where they had scored 300 each, and that brought them into the limelight for when they were playing for Sharada Ashram. There was one batsman that was padded for 6 hours waiting his turn. Amol Muzumdar. It was almost, in a cruel twist of fate, he spent all his life almost padded up, never getting that break. He was quoted in an interview once where he said, numerous players have played and failed. And he said, I've never even had a chance to fail. And he's a stalwart in domestic circles. He scored over 11,000 runs. His record in Ranji cricket for Mumbai cricket is ridiculous. He moved states. He helped a lot of careers. He helped a lot of players develop their game as well. And then he eventually called it quits, resigned to the fate, and accepted the fate that he will never play. In any other... I'll rephrase it. I'm sure in a lot of other teams, he would have made the playing 15.
Yeah.
He would have made the squad. But I think he was made to one squad, but he never... And again, no fault of his. We had a middle order that was stacked with Dravid, Lakshman, Ganguly, Tendulkar. To break into that was almost next to impossible. And they were doing really well at that time as well. So for him to finally don the Indian colours, but this time in a coaching capacity. And mind, he's only come into the team 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not like but he has coached under 19s. So he comes in and this team is now with him. So this trophy is as much as his as it is the team's. So that
there is a movie script here, man.
Martin, there's about 6 Bollywood scripts here. You could go, right? You could, from the team's perspective, from the coach's perspective, from Jemmy's perspective, from Shafali Verma's perspective, Harmanpreet's perspective, Deepti Sharma's perspective.
Yeah,
so there's 6 already.
There's books to come out.
There's so much. But look, India are the champions. Now, you and I discussed this. This is a watershed moment. These guys, this isn't, and I thought of this quite a lot over the last 24 hours. I know you and I, we sort of equated to the 83 Men's World Cup.
Yeah, I do.
I actually think it's beyond that. And this is my take on it. And that's not to say, this is just my take on it. I guess in the 83 World Cup, no one expected India to win. right?
No.
No one expected India to win.
Mhm.
Similar to this, you
Mhm.
didn't expect. But leading to that, India did have a series against West Indies, which India won, right?
Mhm.
In the West Indies, they won. So they had some sort of form. Anyway, long story short, that was different because India was new into the ODI circles. They had just been admitted. It's not like they had been playing for 15, 20 years,
Mm.
right? This women's team have been playing for a while,
Mm.
but they've had to battle the odds. And look, the 83 team also did have to battle the odds.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't have a lot of commercial interest. I guess why this team is this what this team's achievement is different to that is the women's scene hasn't had a lot of money for a long. Look, up until maybe 15 years ago, these were people that had to fund their own equipment.
Mm.
It wasn't even part of the BCCI. Again, not the most well-kept secret.
Mm.
It was almost an independent body, and it was only after sort of those reforms that came in, a couple of committees,
Mm.
that they had to merge it in.
Yep.
So, the WPL has only just come into fruition.
Mm.
But I guess since the BCCI took it over, there has been money flowing in. So now the expectation is, well, we've thrown money on you. Why aren't you delivering results? So I think this team has had to deliver a lot more. Whereas the 83, no one gave them a chance.
Mm.
So almost you played with little abandonment. You had nothing to lose.
Mm.
This team had everything to lose. So I guess in some ways, in a weird sort of way, it's almost like the 23 Men's World Cup where you almost expected to win. This, I wouldn't say we were expected to win, but it's gotten to a stage where, well, now you got sponsors, now you got the WPL, we've given you these resources. What are you doing? What are you doing with it?
Where's my return on
Where's
investment?
my return on investment? And for the women's players themselves, we've gotten to the final. Surely, like we've given blood, sweat, and tears. We've had to battle the odds. Again, the men's tournament, not taking any credit from them. The boys, look, in a culture like India, I don't mean to go there, but women aren't sort of, especially cricket, isn't sort of looked upon as a girl sport,
Yeah.
if that makes sense,
Yeah.
right? These girls have grown up going to men's academies. They haven't gone to actual women's academies, so they've had to sort of fight their way.
Mm. The
And I guess-
trailblazers, to be brutal.
Absolutely, right? And so this tournament, this cup is for all the previous captains that have
Yeah.
had to battle. Your Mithali Raj, your Diti
Goswami.
Goswami, sorry. They've had to battle so much, like it's not even funny.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why I think this is a watershed moment in the sense that, so India has always promised to deliver, but they've never delivered.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way, right? The 83 was different, right? And the men's tournament, they've always delivered in bilaterals, but we've always been serious contenders.
Yeah. I mean, this is where Chappell's word come into play, right? I mean, where, I'm talking about the men's, right? And that's, you can actually apply it to the women's. So if India could get their act together, man, there's something else, right? And they did get their act together, and then all of a sudden there's something else. And again, in the women's part of it, you can apply the same thing. If we could get their act together,
that's exactly,
you are awakening a sleeping giant, right?
And that is probably the best metaphor you could come up with. And I think I zeroed it on that as well.
Yeah.
They were just sleeping giants up until now. That's the difference between the 83 men's team and this, because they've now got resources. They just needed something to go in their favor. And now that this has happened, let's talk about it. This is the ripple effect that this is going to create this is not
beyond words.
Beyond words, right? This is what they've done on Sunday night, Indian time. They've secured a moment in history to build a future for generations to come.
Absolutely.
Right? This is a time capsule. This moment can never be taken. But what this is going to do is, you and I, we've got girls, we've got daughters, but forget that. What this is now going to do is not just inspire a generation of budding girl cricketers, it is now going to provide the infrastructure for women's only.
Yeah.
There's going to be academies coming up. There's going to be money thrown at them. Look, look. Smriti Mandhana's face is there on a lot of advertisements.
Yeah.
So the
I was in
advertising-
India. Don't forget, I can see it. I mean, like
Absolutely.
even when they're promoting the men's game, you see Smriti's. Yeah.
Martin, there was one photo that was doing the rounds, and I found it iconic. In the ground, there was two people. They just had their backs, and I think it was. I think it was a candid photo. It had two supporters wearing the Indian jersey with the number 18. Now, for those of you that follow, I'll say it had 18 with the with Kohli's name on it,
Yep.
and the other one right next to him was 18 with Mandana's name.
Yeah.
So you are going to inspire a generation of neutral supporters, not just men's, of Team India. It's not just going to be women's cricket anymore. You and I will see a generation of.
And I will speak from a term of being, both of us being Indian.
Yeah.
You know, the fact is this, right? We are a society where, okay, the men have done the job. We're not a sporting nation. Let's just get straight to the point. Parents will never encourage you to go and play sport. They want you to study. They want you to go and become engineers, doctors, lawyers, whatever it is. Sports is never
a safe career option.
Just a safe career. That's always been the case, right? It's only of recent that things have started to change, where they said, all right, there is a career in sports, but you know, it's a long way to the top. But look, if you want to do it, go for it.
There still is a way.
Yeah. And then girls was this was not even an option. So what this has actually done is to say, unlock that thing and say, little girls, you know, can go in and say, I want to play cricket. Professionally. And parents will say, okay, yeah, this is an option. Yeah. This is an option, right? This is not always you trying to be an engineer or a doctor or whatever it is, right?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I'll talk from personal point of view, right? I mean, like, so yeah, you know, my mom wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah.
But you know, she didn't get it, and what she said was that when I have my kids, I'm going to make at least a couple of them doctors, and she did.
Martin, you're spot on. A lot of the Indian kids, the parents live vicariously through them. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So this is a no joke moment in Indian culture too. So just the fact of it is that the parents, girls can come in and say, I want to play cricket professional. And the best part of it is there's the WPL, which has opened up the system where more people can come in, and you can just spot talent through that. And there's an opportunity, one, to play for the nation, two, to play for a club and be paid professionally and be paid good. As a career path and be paid good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is something that is worth,
Absolutely.
That was my little...
No. And I think that is what it is. Like, whilst we are... I'm guilty of just getting caught up in the scorecard result. It is what it has unlocked that. It's
a watershed moment in Indian.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is. And that's not to say from here on India is expected to win everything and India will everything. Look, it's sports. Look, on any given day, you know, one team will outperform the other. That is. But what this is going to do is the pipeline that the infrastructure that is now going to be built, the pipelines that are now going to start, the feeder systems that are now going to be created.
Absolutely.
It is just mind-boggling. To your point, the WPL is now there'll be more focus on the WPL.
There'll be money poured into it.
Money poured, absolutely. They will act now. Little girls going up to say, like you said, they'll pick up the bat and say, "This is my option. This is my career option."
Yeah.
Now, you will have many more Amol Muzumdars in making people girls that are worthy to make it to the team but cannot make it. And that's unfortunately the nature of the beast. But the Ranji cricket is going to be a lot more competitive. There will be people going to the Big Bash leagues, going to other franchise tournaments to pick up skills. The coaching level is going to go up a couple of notches.
Well, absolutely.
The
sports science part of it, the psychology of it. I mean, to come with a professional setup, right?
Absolutely.
And I reckon in the next 2 years they will probably have to increase that WPL number of teams too.
Yeah. And that's why in a twist of destiny, it's almost, look, had Australia or England won this ripple effect wouldn't be there. And that's not downplaying them. It's because their systems are so robust. They've got the players producing, being produced anyway, right? They've got the WBBL. Their grassroots cricket is great. But what this is going to do for Indian cricket, or even some of the other subcontinent, is people are going to start believing, saying, if they can do it, we can do it. This is almost, in a sort of perverse way, it's almost like Sri Lanka's watershed movement when they won the 96 World Cup.
Correct.
It's where they've gone, there's no stopping us now. No. We are here to stay. We're here to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this...
And look, it's done wonders for the women's cricket, women's sport, but cricket specifically, because unlike most countries, like say for example Australia or South Africa or England, where there is a summer sport and a winter sport, we don't have that. Everything is cricket.
It's cricket or bust.
It's cricket or bust, right? We don't have a summer sport or winter sport. Yes, there are other sports in India. There are other leagues. There's the Kabaddi League. There's the volleyball league. There's the table.
Our national sport is supposed to be hockey.
Hockey, yeah. Our national sport is actually hockey, but nobody hears anything about hockey. Nobody gives a damn about hockey, and that's a game that we invented. We invented chess too, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's a bizarre system, right? I mean, people just cricket for some reason.
For the right or the wrong reasons, cricket is just showered with it's almost prejudiced in a way. Like the treatment that the cricketers receive and other national athletes receive is just chalk and cheese.
Cheese, yeah, absolutely. So, playing. I mean, these girls have actually set. It's beyond words what they've done.
It is.
The ripple effect of this, you will see in 10 years' time. When you just see the Indian women's team, and there'll be a bench strength that they can produce another 5 teams, just like the IPL has done.
Martin, I say it's not even 10. I'll say 5. With the amount of franchise cricket that's being played now, I dare say it's going to be halved. That's not only because you'll have more people that don't make the Indian leagues trying out in other foreign leagues, just going out and branching out and just trying to
gain that skill set,
get more recognition. Absolutely. So I just think, and that's just the nature of the way, because at this stage, even we don't know what franchise cricket is going to look like. It is just evolving.
It's a beast that is evolving.
Absolutely.
And do you know something? I'm going to slightly sidestep this. Do you know what some of the things that I really loved about this? Forget the game. Not forget the game. We won the match, but there are certain pictures, iconic pictures that come to mind. Where the likes of Shafali Verma and Jemima Rodrigues hugging Marianne Clapp. And there was a lot. They all know each other very well.
Very well.
They all played in the franchise. So just to see them all hugging each other and saying, and they were just hugging her because this is her last. Clapp's last.
Marianne Clapp's. Yeah, absolutely.
That picture really brought me. That kind of said, wow, this is. It's not just, normally it's just victory and we're whoop, and whoop, whoop, you're doing the whoop, whoop, and
they were gracious.
They were so gracious.
And in South Africa's difference, they were gracious non-winners. I don't want to call them losers. They were gracious non-winners. They were effusive in their praise. And I think there's that mutual respect and understanding, empathy.
Yes.
Because they both knew they were gunning for something groundbreaking here. And South Africa just fell short. Yeah, the script could have easily gone the other way around. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it was beautiful to watch all the players hugging each other, and
there was a mutual respect. Yeah,
there was. And you just kind of say, wow, this is what sport is all about.
Spot on.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of sport.
You won. You're not rubbing it in their face. You're just saying, look, we've done
well
something.
played. Well played. It just happened to be India's night.
It is.
The tournament was South Africa's, but it just happened to be. And that's the beauty. You're spot on. The beauty of sport is on any given day, anyone can beat anyone. It wasn't
the ripple effects are these, right? Some of the games that were played in Sri Lanka and things, they hardly had anyone in the stadium watching it,
yeah.
right? In fact, it was free for most of it. People were told, school kids were told it was free, go in and watch. So it had some people to fill it. But what this has now done, I mean, especially at the DY Patil Stadium where it was now full, and especially when it came to the final where people wanted tickets, just look at the arc. When it started, they were trying to bus people in. I'm talking about the ladies cricket, bus people in to come in and watch the game. It was free. To now it got to a point where now people are struggling to find tickets to get into the game, right?
And
you have to
people are
pay.
buying jerseys.
Yeah.
They are actually buying women players' jerseys.
So the flow-on effect of this, and it's just gonna be.
It's.
And this is the good thing of it also is this, because we are, and I said this, we as India is the biggest market.
Yes.
And there's just 1.5 billion minus 10 people who are so cricket crazy that now all the other teams, and when they increase the WPL and things, they just say, right, now we are going to be compensated correctly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's going to be a commercial product that is out there that is worth watching, and there'll be eyeballs. The eyeballs were 500 million people watched the finals. Just think about it, everyone. Just 500 million people watched the finals. That's a lot of eyeballs by any standard. By any standard. Yes, by the men's standard, it's a bit lower than that, but that's phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Numbers. And that is as an advertiser's wet dream. 500 million eyeballs? Already, yeah.
Look, and that's what it is. I think what this also does is it inspires these women cricketers, budding women cricketers, that there is actually going to be forces that are willing to bet on them, that are actually willing to invest. Not just investors probably saying expecting a return. They're almost betting on the winning horse. They know that
it will come to a stage, and I mark my words, it will come to a stage. It's not about the number of people coming through the gates anymore, like the cricket, the men's cricket. It'd be just a marketing people's wet dream, because now people will be like going bananas. And in India, they worship. I mean, look, I tell you what, it is amazing to see, like in the DY Patil Stadium, people were clapping and cheering on Laura.
Yes.
They kept on cheering her on, and that is beautiful. This is 99% of the people there were Indians supporting the Indian team, but they were cheering on Laura from South Africa to keep going. And that is my way, what sport is all about.
And that's the beauty of the Mumbai. I have to hats off to the Mumbai crowd.
Exactly.
It's just,
it as partisan as it can be, they were also recognizing the fact that this is something special.
There is something iconic about the people there, the cricket player there, the grassroots cricket that is places like Calcutta, Mumbai, Bangalore for that matter. They have been, there's a heritage, there's a history associated with the cricketing scene there. And it was almost fitting that it had to be Mumbai as well. So hats off to the Mumbai crowd.
Hats off to them for being non-partisan.
Non-partisan, absolutely.
And, just recognizing talent and appreciating it and urging her to go on. Even though the person you're urging is playing against your team.
Yeah. No.
There is something beautiful about it.
Spot on.
And you have to admire. It's like the A.B. de Villiers thing, right? I mean, A.B. would walk into
He's the son of the soil.
A.B. would walk in anywhere in India, and it didn't matter. You were playing against Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma. People would just go nuts for the guy.
He's the adopted son. Absolutely. In Bangalore.
100%. So you just imagine that. So that's the and I think, look, it's a wonderful testament to the people of Mumbai for doing.
Look, credit where credit's due. Sachin Tendulkar, VVS Lakshman, Rohit Sharma was in attendance. I mean, like, you could visibly see they were proud, because they've been, as much as they've won a World Cup, but Rohit Sharma knows the heartbreak. He hasn't been part of a ODI World Cup. In fact, this is his last dance. He's trying to. So you could almost see him sort of reveling in that sort of being part of that feeling. That this is something that has eluded me as well.
And it's also he's sitting watching from the other side of the fence, isn't
Correct. Absolutely. And this is what he's going to do. Now, when the men's are playing, you can see the women's team come and support them. You can see, and this is what's going to happen as well, and I hope it does happen, sharing of ideologies, sharing of best practices between teams as well, because now it's just a different world. But yeah, I think there's only one word that you and I have used in this campaign. It's that watershed moment. So
Indeed.
Look, you and I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Fortunate, and we are both fortunate to be young enough to see what it is going to evolve into.
Correct, absolutely. So,
and I think cricket. Thank God, cricket is in good hands now, and the sport will go on. And the fact that what these girls have achieved, and they've given an audience and they've given a voice to this format, and it will give. At the end of the day, it all comes down to money, right? And what this does is make it a commercially viable product.
Absolutely.
Right? And hence the broadcasting rights, right? And hence, once the broadcasting rights start, just imagine that.
People will demand. Yeah, people will demand to see.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, I will not be surprised when you start seeing contracts of 1 to 1.5 million.
The monetary aspect is just a given. But I'm just saying, as the consuming public, they will start demanding to see the women's game, because a lot of times these games weren't televised. If you remember. So now people will say, we need to watch it. So watch the TV rights go through the roof.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's absolutely, it gives me goosebumps now. I can't even begin to imagine what the players would be going through. It probably won't even sink for a while. But look, what they've achieved is outstanding. We're just happy to be part of it.
We just jumped on the bus.
We just jumped on, absolutely.
We just jumped on the bus. And we're like Johnny come lately kind of people. I'm talking about me here. But amazing. All right, on that absolutely lovely chat, on that lovely note, I will just say thank you, Vinny. It has been amazing to kind of dissect this entire process. For those of you who are new to this podcast, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, and give us a thumbs up. And those of you who are returning, thank you very much. We appreciate you. And shortly we'll come back to normal broadcasting, where we'll be talking about geopolitics very shortly. But until then, have a good morning.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Martin. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.